Hello, I'm Michelle. This is a Rise and Reignite fitness class. Today we're doing a legendary workout. Super fun, super excited for it. We're going to start with a warm-up. Bring your hands to your hips and start jogging lightly in place. Just getting that body whole, all of that body warm. Breathe in and out. So if you haven't been to a legendary workout before, first of all, go ahead and start getting your arms involved here, moving them up and down. You might feel a little silly, like over-exaggerated movements, but it's just to get those that blood pumping all throughout your body to start with. Okay, so if you haven't been to a legendary workout before, guys, you're in for a shocking experience. It is going to be a journey around the world through stories, and these stories are going to have workout moves to them. I know, it's wild. All right, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and take a nice wide stance here. Oh yeah, touch down one toe, reach toward the other. So you're working into your hamstring, your back, your shoulders, your chest is opening up. So for the next 45 minutes, we'll be going all around the world with these approximately 9 minutes in each different legend. And as we cover those legends, we'll spend time focusing on some strength, some slower moves. You got 3, 2, 1. Reach up, bring your hands forward in front of you. Open up one side, bring it back in. And then outside of the slower, more measured conditioning moves, we'll be doing these bursts of cardio that'll last just 1 minute. So give it what you've got for that 1 minute long cardio blast, which will also be related to the story. So today you'll want to have with you a set of light hand weights, a set of heavier hand weights. If you have both, if you only have one set or don't have any weights at all, totally fine. You can do modifications with water bottles or just without weights at all. You got 3, 2, last one. Awesome. We're going to bring our hands to our hips. We'll start raising one leg up at a time, just reaching it up right in front of you. So we start with this warm-up. This warm-up is only going to last about 4 minutes. Now here you're going to start reaching forward toward your toe. And now we're going to add a little bit of a twist to get that upper body engaged as well. Don't overextend yourself here in this warm-up. It's just to get the body moving. Get rid of some of that tightness from the day. Start feeling really good. You got 3, 2, last one. Come to center, hands again on your hips. We're going to start by reaching one leg up and pulling it out and open to the side. We're working into our quads and hip flexors here, testing out our mobility, our range of motion for today. So every day we hit the ground, our body is different. We've had a different set of situations that we're coming in with. Maybe you had a really hard workout yesterday. Maybe you haven't worked out for a while. Maybe you've been moving all day, or maybe you've been sitting at a desk. All of those things will impact on a daily basis how your body feels. So just pay attention to where your body's at today. Don't force yourself beyond what you're able to do in this moment, but try to challenge yourself to push your boundaries, push your limits, and really push yourself throughout this exercise, just like a legend, the legend you are. All right, you got 3, 2, last one. We're going to finish with just 10 seconds, getting that full body moving with this jogging in place. You got 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I'm going to turn down my phone, which I think has an alarm on it. Grab your set of heavier weights to start with. And we're going to Hungary. We're doing a Hungarian folktale. Oh yeah, okay, this actually set of lighter hand weights. I'm so sorry. Go ahead and drop down your heavier weights, grab your lighter hand weights. This story is a long one. It's got a lot going on in it. We're just gonna push through. Bring those arms forward in front of you. Open up to one side like you're like an archer. Bring it to center, focus on the other side, forward and pull, forward, pull. All right, there's a prince. The prince is walking through the forest and he's looking to hunt. First, he comes across a rabbit and the rabbit yells at him, "Don't get me, and someday I will repay this action of kindness with my own kindness." And so he's like, okay, sure. Then he comes across a fox and the fox says the same thing. Then he comes across to a deer and the deer says the same thing. And as the deer walks away, the deer says, "Hunter, all you need to do is walk a little bit further in this here forest, and there will be a large oak tree. And when you get to the oak tree, you should saw down one of the branches. Inside, a fairy will come out and appear, and you should give her water, because you might need that." We're at 3, 2, last one, bring it in, all the way down, pull forward, out at the sides, and you're gonna start sawing that tree. Pushing those arms forward in front of you, sawing from side to side. He saws off one of the branches. Out from it pops a fairy, and the fairy says, I'm thirsty, I want water. So he immediately scrambles to get his flask, but being the utter klutz that he is, drops all the water on the ground, and the fairy, yes, dies. That was a turn. And so he takes the fairy, buries her back in his homeland, so carries her all the way there. She's like a full-grown fairy, guys, too. This is not a light task. And then eventually decides to go hunting again. Take it up and hunt. And take it to either side just like before. And so again, he comes through the forest, meets first with the rabbit, who says, please don't get me, and someday I will repay your kindness with also kindness. Then he comes across the fox, and the fox says, please don't kill me, I'll pay your kindness with kindness. And he says, hey, look, out there, just ahead of you, there is a giant oak tree. And if you cut down the branch, a fairy will come out, have water with you, because you might need it. And so he says, awesome, we're gonna do 3, 2, last one, bring it all the way down and start sawing, because we're right back there at that oak tree sawing off a branch. Out comes a fairy, and this guy does not understand what it means to have water at the ready. So the fairy says, I'm thirsty, and he says, I've got wine, pours it down her mouth, and yes, she also dies. So he picks up the fairy, brings her back to his homeland, and buries her there. Next, he is out hunting again. We're gonna pull, and we're gonna pull. And now he comes across the rabbit. And the rabbit says, please don't kill me. I will repay your kindness with kindness. And he says, actually, okay, so here's what I will do. I will show you where there is water. I will fill up your canteen or flask or whatever. And we will go chop down that branch together. And I will give the fairy water, because you cannot seem to manage this task. So they go, they fill it with water. They go to see that oak tree once again, bring those arms down and saw it off. Breathe in and out, and they saw off the oak tree, and out pops the fairy, and the rabbit feeds the fairy water, and all is well in the world. So now they have this magical fairy and this prince who loves the magical fairy and a rabbit. And they all go walk away for a while and say, hey, it's time to go back to the kingdom. I would like you to be my wife there. She's like, I can't go back wearing my fairy clothes for some reason. So he's like, sure, okay, I'll go back and get clothes for you. And then I will, I'll be back here to come get you and get your fairy clothes back on you. So they find a place, then drop that weight down, reach one arm up and climb. So they find a place where she then proceeds to climb up into a tree right above a well. And as she climbs up, and she's in a pretty safe space now. The rabbit's gone to find some food, so she's on her own. A witch comes, and the witch looks into the well, and as she stares down into it, she sees the reflection of the fairy, doesn't quite realize it's the reflection, is perplexed, until eventually she realizes there's a fairy up in the tree. She beckons the fairy to come down. You've got 3. Guys, this is a long story. 2. Last one, switch to the other side. We're still climbing. Take it up. And so she beckons the fairy to come down. The fairy comes down. She explains the story to her, thinking this isn't a mean witch, this is a good witch. And then the witch promptly pushes the fairy into the well and beckons her own daughter to come and transforms her into something that looks vaguely like the fairy and sends her back up into the top of the tree. So when she did push the fairy into the well, the fairy transformed herself into a magic, beautiful goldfish, which is now living at the bottom of the well, perfectly safe from drowning. Keep breathing at 3, 2, whoo, last one, awesome. Bring it all the way down. We're gonna bring those arms forward in front of us, give a slight bend here, bring those arms together, reach out, pull in, reach out, pull in, good. So the prince comes back, sees the fairy in the tree, and says, hey, come down, I've got clothes for you. She comes down, and he's like, you don't look like I thought you looked like. She says, you've been away for so long that my looks have changed. And so he's like, seems legit. She changes into the clothes, and together they go to the castle, where she now serves as the fairy queen of the land. But she's the witch's daughter, so this is not a good thing, guys. So the witch finds out that the fairy has been embodied in this fish form, says, daughter, in order to maintain your title as the queen here, so the guy never figures out where the fairy went, you need to kill the fish. So she asks, the witch daughter asks her husband, go kill that fish. And so he goes, kills the fish, the daughter eats the fish, except a scale of the fairy fish falls onto the land. 3, 2, last one right here. This was a fish, guys. You couldn't tell, but I knew. Lift those arms up because we're gonna grow into a tree. Yes, that's what the scale did next. It grew into a tree that would blossom in the evening and produce golden fruit by the next day. And fairies would come and eat from it. And the witch said, clearly the fairy is not dead yet. So she commanded her daughter, you gotta get your husband to chop down this tree. The husband chopped down the tree, or got his servant to chop down the tree, and the servant preserved a piece of wood and brought it back to his home. And this wood, oh man, guys, the wood would transform into the fairy and clean the house when the people least expected it and knew, until they, as a family, took the fairy to come work with them in the palace. And at the prince's amusement, he would ask the people who worked for him to tell him stories. And one day, while he did that, the fairy said, I was in the oak tree and a man came and saved me, and I was his fairy queen. And he realized that's his real fairy queen. And she goes, and they live happily ever after, had attached the witch and the evil daughter to the tail of a horse, and they do not live happily ever after. Guys, that's the end of the story. You can drop these weights down to the side. Holy cow, that was a thing. Now we have 1 minute cardio class, and we're gonna start by climbing a tree. So we're gonna reach down and climb up. Reach down, climb up. So we're trying to get safe. Reach down and climb up. We're gonna do some of the fairy moves here, guys. So first we're climbing up a tree. Next we're gonna be a fish. Breathe and just pop right up. You've only got 1 minute of cardio blast here. Breathe in and out as you go through. Keep it up. Whew. You got 4, 3, 2, last one, climbing up the tree. Come right down. You're gonna start swimming with your torso up. Swim those legs and swim like the fish you are. Breathe in and out and keep moving. You're almost there. You've got about 10 seconds left in this cardio blast. Keep it going. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hallelujah. Okay. Reach all the way back. Pause for a moment. You've got a nice long break here. You've got about 30 seconds to recover before we move on to our next story. Don't worry, guys. None of the other stories will be quite that intricate and bizarre. But it was fun because I never knew exactly what the next detour was going to be. And in the end, I didn't feel like there was a lesson. I just felt like it was a story that did a lot of things. Okay. Oh, yeah. We're going to China. Last week, we covered the first part of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. Come all the way down, fists onto the floor, and we're going to start crawling over to the side. So keeping that low squat the whole time. So Sun Wukong, if you remember, he was a monkey that was a stone monkey. So he was born on a stone mountain, and he came out of a stone, and then he conquered a waterfall, became the king of the monkeys. So all the monkeys love him. They're all friends, guys. This is important for the story. And then he wanted to seek immortality, found a guy who would teach him. And that's where we're at today. So he starts by getting taught by this man all about the secrets of immortality. So he spends 7 years learning and learns a lot in those first 7 years. Spends an additional 3 years learning. That's been 10 years. And he is suitably not aging, so he's achieved immortality. And it's practically magic. You're going to come to center. Whoo! And you're going to reach up. Awesome. All right, now you're going to bend down. I know those thighs are still burning. And reach up. We're still being the monkey. The monkey is learning new information that he is not super happy about. The man who's been teaching him has said, hey, so you know how we're doing this whole immortality thing? Actually, the celestial court's not a big fan of people getting this. So they're going to try to kill you now. They're going to do it 3 different ways. First, they'll try to strike you down with lightning. Then they will try to light you up with fire. And finally, they will disintegrate you. So he's like, but no fear, because I can teach you how to avoid this. So the next thing he teaches is this transformation. So he can transform now into 72 different things and avoid getting this implication from the celestial gods. And also learns how to fly, which is like a cool tidbit on the side. Eventually he terrorizes the community so much, kind of a hooligan, they kick him out. He goes back to Monkey Island. So we're going to be on the monkey side. And once he arrives, he is met with devastating news. A monster has been harassing his monkey friends and has, in fact, kidnapped a whole bunch of his monkey friends. So he goes and decides to have a monkey battle. Stand back up, legs far apart. We're going to battle it out. You guys know what that looks like. Reach down and lunge to one side, come to center, down and lunge to the other. Awesome. Battling it out. Reach and battle. So he battles, and of course, he wins because he's a monkey god thing. And so he saves all of his monkey friends, and together they go down to their island where they continue to live for a while. But he's like, hey, I don't want this situation to happen again. So I'm going to avoid this by going down to the depths of the sea to talk to the serpent, the dragon of the sea. Okay, so we're going to come down to the floor, and we're going to be a dragon. So you're going to lift your chest up, and once you get up, tuck those toes under, reach up, pull back, and then swing into this again. You can touch your legs to the ground, or you can keep them raised up the whole time, and then move up into that downward dog. So this is just like a Dragon King movement, guys. Make it nice and steady. So he meets this Dragon King in the water, and there he is offered a whole bunch of different items to use as his magical items, but he finally settles on this magic staff. So he gets a magic staff, and is seen as so powerful that every one of the dragons is actually admiring him. They make him some fancy clothes, and they send him on his way back to the Monkey Kingdom. There he chills out, but is causing, then the demons all pledge allegiance to him. We're going to come all the way back up until he gets caught and sent down to hell. So we're going to come bring our hands onto our waist. So two guys, when everything seems to be going well, he has his magic staff, he has his cool outfit, and all the demons pledge allegiance to him. These two men who are like guardians in hell pick up the Sun Wukong, take him down to hell, where he throws such a ruckus and is like, you cannot get me. I am immortal. I went through like 10 years of this, guys. There must be a mistake. And the guys, the guardians in hell, are like, you're right. There must be a mistake. We must have gotten your name mixed up or something. So they go and start looking and reading through all the scrolls in hell to see where the name was written, such that they would have mistaken a different Sun Wukong, took the wrong one down to the afterlife. So once they find his name, Sun Wukong's doing all this searching, right? He's like, I want you to show me. As soon as he finds his name, he scratches his name out, and then scratches out the names of as many of his monkey friends as he can. So none of them will ever go to hell. And that was his little victory there. We're going to do one more just like this. Bring it all the way up. Awesome. We're going to come down. We're going to be celestial for a moment, guys. We're going to move side to side. This is what I imagine the celestial realms are like. So basically, the Jade Emperor now is hearing so much stuff about this guy doing all kinds of crazy things that he's like, we should kill him. And the Star of Venus, someone else in the celestial realm, is like, or we could give him a title in heaven to like appease him and make him feel okay. And that'll help this outspoken monkey. So he's like, okay, let's do that. Take him up to heaven, give him in charge of the stables. So start pulsing it out right here, right on top of that horse. They put him in charge of the stables, and eventually he asks, hey, so like, am I like in charge of heaven? And they're like, actually, you're in the lowest level of people in heaven. So he is like, I ain't doing that. Moves back to Monkey Island, where he says, I'm better than that. Still causing problems. So up in the celestial realms, the Jade Emperor sends down a couple people. You know what that looks like. We're fighting it out. So fighting side to side. A couple of his celestial beings to go defeat the Monkey King, and both of them lose. So the Jade Emperor is like, really, guys, it's time to get rid of this guy. Until the Star of Venus says, or we could give him a higher title and make it just an empty title and he doesn't do anything. They're like, that's a great idea. So that's what he does. He moves back to heaven with a better title and hangs out there until they give him a job so that he doesn't get too bored, start wreaking havoc as looking over the peaches of immortality. That's where we're stopping this story today, but believe me, it continues. We're doing one more lunge here. We're bringing it all the way up. We're going to be the different ways the celestial beings are going to kill Sun Wukong. So first we're going to be lightning, so we're going to lightning, and then we're going to be fire, and then we're going to be disintegration. All right, lightning, fire, disintegration. It's also called a burpee. Yes, that's right. Take it out. Another way to die. Fire and disintegration. 1 minute is all I'm asking of you guys. Breathe and make these movements strong and powerful, just like you. Here we go. Pull it up, take it down. Awesome. Lightning, fire, disintegration. Take it in, breathe it out. You're doing great. Take it out. Power through. Keep breathing. Lift up. You only have 10 seconds left. 10 seconds, and then you are all done. You got 2 seconds left. And fire. Take it out. You're done. Yes. Whew. Take a nice big breath here. You've got about 30 seconds to recover. Whew. Grab water. Guys, I was wrong about the stories. They're complicated today. Whew. Breathing it out. So in the last story, we ended up, Sun Wukong was overseeing the orchards of the peaches of immortality up in heaven, right? We're gonna move on to our next story, Japanese, also about peaches. So, oh yeah, okay. Whew. Get a nice low stance here, guys. You can grab a light weight if you'd like. Whew, I will. So this is the story of Momotaro. Lean down, pull it up. Lean down, keep that torso high. This weight is just for a little bit of added resistance, added weight to this routine. Breathe in and out. Your heart rate's still coming back to normal. I know mine is. Take these nice long breaths. So Momotaro starts with an old couple in Japan, childless, who really always wanted a child, and the gods have never given that to them. So the old woman is out washing her clothes, just like we are, in the river. And while he's washing these clothes, she sees coming downstream toward her a giant peach. And so she gets the peach, pulls it in, brings it home to her husband, and is like, hey, look at what I found. I wonder what's inside. I bet it's extra sweet and juicy. He says, okay. So they start, move that weight, cutting it open. And as they cut that peach open, out pops a baby boy. That's right, they named him Momotaro, because that means peach boy. We're gonna do one more cut, drop it down to the ground, and we're gonna come right down here too. You're gonna fold one leg under, start lounging on one forearm, hand comes onto your hip or on the floor in front of you to stabilize, and reach that leg out. What we're doing right now, guys, you can't tell, but it's sleeping. And so we're sleeping here because that's what children do. That's what Momotaro was doing. And while he was sleeping, he was having dreams of a demon island, nightmares I should call them. He was having dreams of a demon island where demons run rampant and they kill everybody, and he is possessed with idea of going and conquering this island. Flip over to the other side. We're gonna sleep on our other side, reach up. So stack those hips, reach that leg up into the air. Your hand can be here on the ground. It can be on your hip, or actually if you want a balance challenge, you can lift it up so that's right behind your leg coming up. So he starts having these dreams and says to mom and dad, Mom, Dad, I love you, but I've got to go to Demon Island. I've got to kill some demons. And they said, okay, but we will make you dumplings first. These dumplings are called dango. This is like this sticky rice thing. It's a treat that you can get in Japan. So they give him some of these to take with him on the road, and he starts on his way out on his expedition. We're gonna come onto our hands and knees, and we're gonna start moving one leg up in the air, bring it down. So while he's on his expedition, he comes across a dog. And if you are a child in Japan, you learn a song that goes to this story that's something like, Momotaro, Momotaro, where are you going? And is that sticky rice? Because I want some. And if you give me some, I'll come with you. It's kind of like that's how the story goes. Okay, so the dog says all this to Momotaro, and he says, yes, it's the best dumpling sticky rice, all the same name for this thing. And he says, yeah, you can come with me. So the dog starts coming with him. We're still going to be the dog, but we're going to move on to other animals. So we're going to switch to other side, start lifting that leg into the air. He comes next across a monkey. The monkey says the same thing, Momotaro, Momotaro. Is that sticky rice? Because I want to come if you give me some sticky rice. And he says, yes, come with me. And then finally, he comes across a pheasant. The pheasant, same deal, says the same thing. And now all these animals are happily fed these dumpling sticky rice dango thing. And they come closer and closer to Demon Island. Once they get there, they look across the way and they see that there's a boat on the other side, but not on this side. So the animals jump into the water with the exception of, so the monkey jumps onto the dog's back, the dog paddles through the water, and the pheasant flies along, and they get to the other side and they get the boat. So you're gonna come up onto your knees now. How we're gonna pull the boat, so reach your hands forward and start pulling it back. So they pull it back across the water, and they bring it to the other side. You can even add in a little extra, movement here, guys, if you wanna make it super lifelike. And they pull it back with the exception of they don't have opposable thumbs, or the dog doesn't, and neither does the pheasant. So we're pulling it back. Bring it back until we reach Momotaro, get him on the ship, then we all go toward the Demon Island, where we then end up fighting demons. You're gonna come all the way up. We're gonna do a quick little fight because it doesn't take long. We're gonna lean down to one side, fight that way, lean down to the other. There's all these demons, but guys, like any appropriate video game, there is a boss. So the boss demon is there. He starts killing and fighting against the boss demon. But the boss demon is no match for a child that comes out of a peach. So the child wins against the grand demon, and the other demons bow to him and say, boy, you have won and defeated us. You are now the one who is like master of us. Here also take these treasures with you and be on your merry way. So we're gonna come down, because just as there was a long trip there was a long trip back. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. We're gonna start pulling those treasures with us. First, we go across the water, and then we walk across the land and eventually get back home with all of our treasures. So later this story, which is very popular amongst children, it's like a folk tale, like a normal folk, like Little Red Riding Hood. Everyone knows this story, right? So we're gonna come back for two. Last one, take it all the way back, bring it up. We're gonna do some squats while I tell you a little more about the history of the story, which I always find fun. Go ahead and come down, keep that chest up. So this story was later used as propaganda throughout wars by Japan, because you have Japan being the peach boy, right? Then he goes along his merry quest, and along the way would ask different people, dogs, whatever, AKA citizens, to join on the quest. And if everyone gets involved, they all get the benefit at the end of the day of getting all that treasure, plus some sticky rice. So it's a really great way to like build camaraderie and all that kind of stuff. So this story was used like that throughout the wars that happened in the last century. So that's just some interesting information. We're gonna come up and we're gonna be, we're gonna be, start down here. This is gonna be like a little bit of a slower pace. We're gonna start as a dog. Lift one leg up, lift the other leg up, prop up, walk backwards as a monkey, come up, do a jumping jack as a bird, come back down, sit down as your dog, reach one leg up, other leg up, prop up as a monkey, walk forward, reach up, jumping jack. So I know it's a little complicated. If you do your own version or just choose one animal, that's fine, I get it. Lift, prop up, monkey forward, and reach up. Dog, monkey, pheasant, that's right, take it down. Dog, monkey, pheasant, dog, monkey, pheasant, woo, take it down. You've got about 5 seconds left. Take it forward, pheasant, last second. Oh, all done. Great job, guys. It was a little wacky. They're all a little wacky. Okay, we're gonna come back down here, staying on the floor. You're gonna relax for the next 25 seconds and get ready to go to do some Greek mythology next. So we're gonna cover a small portion of the Jason story. We're just going over Jason and the Golden Fleece today. And I'm gonna keep my notes right with me because, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing today. Whew. All right, so you're gonna bring your hands behind your head, pull yourself up, and we're gonna start by just dipping one foot down at a time on a long journey. So at this point, there is a fleece out there. There is the fleece of a mystical golden flying ram, and it's in this big oak tree, guarded by a dragon that never ever sleeps. So that's the setup, and Jason wants to get the fleece, right? So he starts by going to the kingdom and saying to the king, "King, can I have the fleece?" Seems like a logical question to me. And the king is like, no, but you could, if you pass 3 tests, you can have this golden fleece. And so he's compiling these 3 tests in his mind, these 3 impossible tasks. No way Jason will be able to conquer them. But Medea, his daughter, has been falling in love with Jason with the help of other gods, telling her, what to do. So she's fallen in love with him. And she goes and meets Jason and gives him 3 different things that'll help him throughout his process. So you got 3, 2, last one. The first process, we're gonna bring our legs all the way up in the air and start moving them back and forth. We're gonna start just here for now. Breathe in and out, pull those legs up high. You wanna make these legs as straight as you can. You can see mine have bends in them. That's pretty normal if your legs have any tightness in them. And that's something that can be recovered more with stretching and appropriate exercises and strength building for where you're at right now. So if you can really straighten them, go ahead and go for that. Otherwise, leave those little bends in there. Bring your hands behind your neck, pull yourself up if you're ready for that extra challenge. And finally, you can add some little pulses. So the first challenge is a set of oxen that have fire all around them. The king says, you need to go through those ox. So he starts going through, but he uses the first thing given to him from Medea, which is these clothes that are either inflammable or flammable or whatever, depending on your definition, I guess. And he goes through them, and so he's able to conquer the first of the tasks, the burning oxen. All right, so you got 3, 2, 1. Take it all the way down. Breathe for just a moment. His next task is going to be fighting. So first he takes serpent's teeth and he scatters them across the land. We're going to move up in the center. So your legs are out, wider than hip distance apart. We're going to move up, and you can start bringing that arm all the way down and up because we're going to fight. As soon as he spreads the serpent teeth onto the ground, out spring from them warriors who all try to kill him. And so this is the second task, these serpent teeth warriors. And he uses the second thing Medea gave to him. And when he throws it, I can't remember what it was he got. Guys, so if you know, comment now or leave a comment in the description. But whatever he has, he throws it and it turns into a giant rock that somehow distracts all the warriors who go after the giant rock instead of Jason. Thus, he is able to escape in that one as well. Last two, final one. Awesome. Next, we are coming to the third task, the dragon. So we're going to come all the way up into a plank position, lift all the way up. We're going to pull in and lift up. Pull in, lift up. So the dragon, again, never sleeps, guards this golden fleece all the time. His third task is to go back or go against the dragon. And so he brings the magic stuff from Medea and throws kind of like dust on top of the dragon. Move over to the other side and reach in, pull up. Reach down, pull up. So he tosses this dust and it falls on the dragon and the dragon starts to fall asleep. So the dragon falls asleep and Jason is able to go and take the golden fleece. The journey is not over yet though, because the king never intended for Jason to be able to get this fleece. So we're gonna come back down and we're gonna start running away. Your forearms come down onto the ground, giving you support, and we're gonna start running. Big, long strides. Jason and Medea start running away from the kingdom, carrying with them the golden fleece. Remember, Medea is the king's daughter. So the king is not happy about this for many, many reasons, and enlists his son, as well as an army, to go run after Medea and Jason and Jason's group in order to retrieve the fleece and the daughter. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Take it down. You're going to bring your arms back. Fold one arm, your left arm around your head and neck, and your right arm is going to straighten out, and then you're going to reach across your body, and you're just going to pull this way. So while they're running away, they are stopped, and they end up fighting against Medea's brother. So this is where things really get messy, right? So Jason, without hesitation, kills the brother, just guts right through him. Then they proceed not to just kill him, but to sever him into multiple pieces, which then Medea helps to scatter all over the land. Go ahead and switch to the other arm so your right arm comes back behind your head, and you're going to fight across your body with that sword in the opposite direction now. So Medea and spreads the parts of her brother's body all over the island to distract her grieving father and the army from being able to catch up with them. So that's a big no-go, even in terms of like Greek god standards. They're not okay with this. Jason, Medea, and his crew all end up getting on the boat and into the ocean. So we're going to bring our legs up, come back into a 45-degree angle, and we're going to start swimming right here. We're not really swimming, but we're on a boat. And so the gods send a bad wind toward them and end up throwing them onto the island of Circe, where she is none too happy with these people. And I don't know what happens next. That is the cliffhanger we are ending on today with Jason and the Argonauts. And we are going to do this for just about 5 more seconds on this boat. Quickly recover and move into our 1-minute cardio blast. We've got 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Come all the way up. Whew. And we're going to get ready for a fight. So we're going to come down low, and we're going to lean from side to side, lifting up one arm at a time. This is your last cardio blast of the day. And we're fighting because that's what Jason does. He does it with the dragon. He does it with the army. He just can't help himself. Breathe in and out. He doesn't really fight the dragon. We're the warriors. He just kills his brother-in-law. Keep going, side to side. Get a little lower, bend down, a little more. Really sit back into that lunge, moving quickly. This is the only move we are doing in Jason's cardio blast. So just push through. It's all about endurance, mental and physical. Put your mind on it. Get through. You got 15 seconds left. Get a little lower, sit a little deeper. 10 seconds. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done. Yay! Congratulations. You are all heroes. Okay, let's take a nice wide stance. Lift those arms up into the air, inhaling and exhaling as we bring those arms down. And now we just got about 4 minutes to recover and stretch. Take another deep breath in. And as you come down, bring those hands to your hips. Here, go ahead and wiggle those hips a little bit side to side, and then start coming down into a flat back position. Once you're here, go ahead and drop those arms down to the ground. Bring those hands closer to in between those legs, and let your whole upper body fall down toward the ground here. As we enter this stretching session, I want you to focus on a couple things. Your body isn't as supercharged, your mind isn't as supercharged anymore, so take it down a beat and think as you go through this, think about what you accomplished today. Be proud of yourself and how awesome you are. And also think about some pieces, like work on thinking through, bring your hands forward, roll those shoulders back, hands onto your hips, and reach all the way up. Thinking through just the fact that you have a couple minutes here to breathe and not be or do anything else. Go ahead and bring your hands serpentine one over the other, and then reach them up toward the ceiling. You should get a pull in your shoulders and back. Breathe in and out. Let those arms come down, and we're going to switch to the other side, reaching our palm to palm on the other side, and pulling those arms up toward the ceiling. Again, you should get a pull in your shoulders and neck and back. Keep taking those deep breaths in and out. Try, if you can, to breathe in through your nostrils and out through your mouth, using some really intentional deep breaths as your heart rate starts to normalize. One more breath here, release those arms, and we're going to come into a hip flexor stretch. So go ahead and lean down in a long runner's lunge over your right leg. Square off those hips, open up that chest, drop down those hips toward the floor. And breathe here. Take one more deep breath here, and then drop that leg down to the ground. Pull back so your hip is above your back knee. Reach those front toes up off the ground, and let your body contract with each breath you have, closer and toward your front foot and leg. Keep breathing in and out. One more big breath here, and then roll forward on that leg once more. Bring both hands to the inside of that leg. Reach that leg around and back. Open up toward the other side. Bring your other foot forward. Tuck your toes under and reach up into that long runner's lunge. Go ahead and bring that knee up off the ground. Your front knee is over your front ankle. Your hips are down and square, and your chest is broad and open. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. One more big breath here. Drop that back knee down. Bring both hands to either side. Pull back so that your hip is above your back knee, and release those big toes from the ground, reaching them up toward the ceiling. With each breath, go ahead and lean a little closer toward this front leg. Use your breath to really expand your body, and then breathe out and contract your body a little closer to that front leg. One more big breath here. Pull all the way forward. Both hands come to the inside of that leg. Pull that leg around and back. Then you're going to find yourself into a seated position. First, we're going to bring our hands down to the floor at either side. Roll those shoulders back so you're sitting nice and tall. Act like there is a string pulling your body up toward the ceiling. And first, rotate your head in a couple big circles to the right. And then move it in big circles to the left. Finally, come back to a neutral center position. Recheck that posture. Bring your palms up on either side. Go ahead and close your eyes if you want to. We're going to end with just one big breath. As you breathe in, Reach those hands up toward the ceiling above you. And exhale. Letting those hands come down to either side. Guys, I love getting to work out with you. It's always a pleasure. Let me know you came. Let me know what's sore. Let me know what stories you liked. Let me know if you have stories you want to have told to the world. I love every time I get to hear a story. And other than that, right now, we are undergoing some changes at Rise and Reignite, so we will be having a new schedule coming out starting in September. Thank you guys for being with me through this for the last, over 5 months. We've been doing this. Such a fun time, and I'm really looking forward to the changes we have coming up. So if you haven't already, let me know your perspective by filling out the survey that's on my Facebook and in my group emails, and I will also post it into the description of this email or of the YouTube video, so you can add your feedback there as well. I would love to hear from you. I will talk to you soon. Bye.